In this Japanese Shippo leather watch roll, I have three beautiful Seiko divers from my own collection, three similar sport watches that each sit in different price tiers, and I hope to fully illustrate the differences in the quality, in the details, and in the performance. In essence, I want to show you what kind of a product to expect at each price level.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements.
Now we have an affordable option here in the Seiko Turtle. We have a mid-level option in the Willard, and then we have a luxury option in the Marine Master 300. But I want you to know that there are other good Seiko designs, other good models and options, some a little above or a little below these three. But I feel that these three I have in front of the camera, they give a very solid representation of what Seiko brings to the table at each price tier. Lastly, I'm generalizing the cost for each one of these watches. I've placed the retail price on the screen, but I'm going to refer to these at the common going rate. You can find deals on these, whether it's new with a discount or in great condition used. There's a small range of prices on what to expect, but I'm generalizing. We have a $500 Turtle, a $1,000 Willard, and a $2,500 Marine Master 300. Let's start with some of the aspects that all of these share. Each watch has excellent case finishing, excellent dial work when you compare them to other similarly priced models from different brands. Each have fantastic luminescence in dark conditions. LumiBright is among the best, if not the best in the business. And each one of these three watches have in-house movements that are designed and produced by the brand. In fact, Seiko has very impressive vertical integration, and I doubt if they buy many components from third parties. Maybe they buy synthetic jewels for the movements or AR compounds for the sapphire crystals, but even then, it wouldn't surprise me if they manufactured their own. Each one of these watches is a tough cushion case design, a retro design, an original design that is ISO compliant and could easily be worn in harsh or difficult conditions. And lastly, I find all three of these watches comfortable and very enjoyable to wear. They are a part of my personal watch rotation. Now, here's where the watches start to differ in quality. It really comes down to a few things. It comes down to tactile elements like the bezel action, the crown action, some of the details of the dial, and certainly the quality of the movements. Let's start with bezel action. None of these have excellent bezel action, but the feel and the quality certainly gets better with each price jump. Each bezel action features a hard click followed by a softer click. The Turtle requires the least amount of torque to turn. It has the loudest sound. It's also the mushiest feeling, the least defined, if that makes sense. The Willard's action is noticeably tighter than the Turtle's. It requires more torque to turn. It has just a more refined feeling, quieter action. It's actually the quietest of the three here. The Marine Master action is definitely the tops, but that's to be expected. This costs about twice what the Willard costs, so it better be the best of the bunch here. It's easy to grip. There's the most precise feeling of the three, and it's the only one with a partially loomed bezel index. There's LumiBright in that triangle up to the 20 when it comes to the indexing. The Turtle's bezel insert is ceramic. The Willard's is hardened aluminum. And of course, the Marine Master 300 is ceramic. And then going to the dial, you'll notice the details start to progressively step up in quality. But I have to say that you can find a gorgeous dial on a Turtle that's highly textured, just as you can find a very basic looking sunray finish on an MM300 dial. But there are a few just noticeable differences, like the increase in size and height of each applied marker from the Turtle to the Willard to the MM300. The Willard also has beveled bi-finished hands. Those are more nuanced than what you find on the Turtle. And then when you get to the Marine Master, you really notice the step up, the differences. It becomes more pronounced. We have the largest, cleanest applied markers with a lot of surface area for Lumibrite. It also has a gorgeous handset with satinization, polished chamfered edges. This is one of my favorite all-time hand designs. It's so well done. The quality here of the details of the MM300, it's nearly Grand Seiko quality. This one also shares that same brushed metal date wheel that you would find on a mechanical Grand Seiko date, as opposed to a painted wheel like the other two have, the Turtle and the Willard. Now the dial textures, you can see matte on the Turtle, sunray on the Willard, and then a raised Seghaiha pattern with a subtle sunray finish on the MM300. But let's talk about what's behind the dial. Let's talk about the movements. The Turtle has the 4R36, the Willard the 6R35, and the Marine Master an 8L35. The 4R is considered, well, I hate to say it, but kind of a cheap throwaway movement. They're so inexpensive, it costs more to pay a watchmaker to repair a broken movement or service the caliber. It's cheaper, it's quicker just to drop in a new movement. This has a 3 Hz frequency, 24 joules, 41 hours of power reserve, and admittedly the finishing looks pretty rough if you were to view it. Now the 6R in the Willard has a higher grade mainspring, a higher grade hairspring. This has 70 hours of power reserve, which is 29 hours more than what you get in the 4R. But the 8L is the only 4 Hz movement here. This is based on the Grand Seiko 9S55 movement. It has the tightest accuracy specs of the bunch, and it is made in the Shizukuishi Watch Studio. Although it has 50 hours of power reserve, it just demolishes the other two calibers in terms of the quality, in terms of the level of finish. There are hand finished components in this caliber, and it just looks fantastic. Easily the nicest movement of the three. Not that the finishing necessarily matters, because you won't see any of the calibers behind solid casebacks, but it's just nice to know the type of finish, the type of grade of movement inside your watch. Now, a few other items of note. None of these Seikos have excellent bracelets. Each bracelet has the pin and tube style connection. We do see a slight step up in terms of quality from the Turtle to the Willard to the Marine Master 300, but I want to temper expectations. Do not expect these two higher grade bracelets to really compete with Swiss or German-made bracelets at the same price tier. The Marine Master does have the toolless extension system, and I want to shout them out. They were doing that years before other brands were doing it, but it's pretty bulky, and it's not the prettiest either when it comes to extension systems. Now the Willard and the Marine Master 300 have Dia Shield. That's a hard clear coating that protects the stainless steel from light wear marks. No, it will not stop scratches, but it definitely helps a little bit with that very light surface wear. The lume on these watches, although excellent, like I mentioned, they get a bit more potent the higher in price you climb. There's just a little bit more surface area, and it's deeper when it comes to the MM300. Now, in summation, I want to just emphasize, with each jump up in price, the improvements in the details, in the dial, in the finish, in the movement, it is noticeable, but they should be noticeable. I also want to say that I don't consider the Willard twice the watch that the Turtle is, nor do I consider the MM300 twice the watch of the Willard or 6 times the watch of the Turtle. Now, here's something that I've been thinking about. I'd love to get your opinion, but I think Seiko, and Seiko divers especially, they're a bit addicting. They have these qualities about them that when you're wearing them, you just enjoy the watches, maybe more so than other brands. Let's say you start off with the Seiko Turtle. There are tons of options to choose from. The price won't break the budget. So you pick one up just to see what the fuss is all about that us Seikophiles, us Seikopaths make. And at first, you like it, but you don't love it. You don't really get what everybody's talking about. But then as you wear the watch occasionally, you start to notice that you really like it. You reach for it more often when you're putting on your watch for the day because it's just fun. It has character. The lume is awesome. You're not afraid to use it. You're not afraid to get it wet. And then you start looking at other models, maybe other colors, other versions. And then pretty soon you're buying those. And then you're looking into higher priced Seiko divers. Maybe you come across one at a collector meetup and eventually you pull the trigger, you buy one or more because it's a slippery slope. Seiko is a slippery slope. It's very easy to get into the brand casually and then look back a year later and you have multiple Seikos at multiple price tiers. And it's funny because I know some watch collectors who at the beginning, they scoffed. They originally scoffed at the idea of buying a $2,000 priced Seiko. They thought that was ridiculous. They thought that was a waste of money, but they had the Seiko experience. Eventually, they came full circle and were pumped about getting an awesome deal on an MM300 variant or a different luxury priced Seiko. And now they proudly wear that watch alongside their other higher end watches. That's not an uncommon thing. My point is, there's something to Seiko, but it's not a perfect brand. They don't make perfect watches. They certainly have their warts. They certainly have their flaws, but Seiko makes capable watches that are enjoyable to wear, that have original designs, that have history, that have impressive vertical production. I think this brand offers a lot of selection across the price spectrum, with each one of those models bringing a significant amount to the table for the respective cost. There's not another brand out there quite like Seiko, but there is a Seiko design for just about everyone. So if you can't tell, I'm a fan. I find value in collecting multiple Seiko models at multiple price tiers. One day I'm enjoying the heck out of this blackout King Turtle, and then the next I'm wearing this MM300, then I'm wearing my King Seiko or my Speed Timer or this Willard. I just have a lot of fun with this brand. But yes, there are differences in quality at the different price tiers that Seiko sells at. Hopefully this video has given you a little bit more perspective on what to expect with an entry-level Seiko, a mid-level Seiko, and a luxury Seiko. Thanks for watching. Reach out with questions, and I hope you come back again for more watch content.